friends, welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys for coming back. I am so happy to have you. So in today's video we are going to be doing the 126 meal challenge. Yes, 126 meals, guys. So what that means is for 7 days my family of 6 will be eating 3 meals on an extreme budget, and this budget is, would you believe, it's under $30. Yes, your girl did it, under $30, and that includes breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I've done this challenge before, but I only did dinners, so I thought it would be interesting to see what I could do with $30. So I'm going to be doing it a little bit different from how I did it last time. What I'm going to be doing in this video is I'm going to be telling you the items that I purchased, the cost of the items that I purchased, what the main items yielded, a few side notes, how I prepped, of course the meal plan, maybe how you can up your game, and what I do different. And I'm going to do 7 other videos that document each day that we did meals, and in those videos I'll be sharing the recipes that weren't shared in any previous videos, because of course, you know, we did some things over and over again, especially for breakfast. I think it's going to be interesting to see how we did. Just note that right now we're in day 6, and this has been an interesting journey. So let's get into it. Okay, so first of all, I am going to be including a screenshot of the items that I purchased for the $30. What I did is I used Walmart as my guide for prices, because you know that I can get my groceries cheaper. However, I want it to be fair to the people that can't go to these small mom and pop shops or to, you know, maybe an ethnic grocery. I had no meal plan going in. All I did was go to the Walmart app, see what I could buy for really cheap. Keep in mind that I'm assuming that you have shelf items such as salt, pepper, sugar, and seasonings that you have in your house, baking powder, baking soda, just shelf stable items that you should have anyway, or if you don't have, you need to get, so that even if you don't have the main items, you have the basic items, especially because that stuff can go out of stock really soon. So you want to make sure that you have it. And maybe you have pantry items such as vegetables. I don't know. We're just going to assume that you have those items. But I'm going to make these meals and they don't have to include any additional items. We're just going to use what we have to get what we want, right? Okay. I know that most people do have a Walmart in their area, and I took that into consideration. So my screenshot will be a screenshot of the Walmart app and the items that I purchased. And I also will be including the shopping list in the description below, just in case I can't include the screenshot. Okay guys, look at me. Look, I did it. I put a screenshot up. It's just showing you quickly the prices of everything, and it actually turned out to be cheaper than I thought. Then there's a quick picture if you need to take a screenshot or stop the video to see exactly what I got. I will also have everything listed in the description box below. Make sure you stay tuned throughout. Now, I did price different areas to see if the price was different, and it was. So it kind of depends on your area, but at no time was it over $30. So I thought I did a pretty good job. So what the main items yielded. For 12 ounces, and again I have my notes, for 12 ounces of dried beans cooked, it yielded 4 cups of beans cooked. 10 pounds of chicken. They come in leg quarters. You never know what you're going to get in these packages. So I always like to pull them all out, clean them, and then see what it is I'm getting. For example, I bought 10 pounds of chicken and I counted it last time and I got like 18 pieces. This time, cutting them in half, there was 23 pieces of chicken. So there was just an extra thigh, I believe, that was inside there. 5 pounds of flour yields 17 cups of flour, so keep that in mind. 5 pounds of dry rice, in my case, came out to 11 cups. Sometimes it can be 10 depending on the rice, but mine was 11 cups. And for each cup of rice that is cooked, that yields 1.5 cups. So if you're doing 2 cups of rice, you will get 3 cups of cooked rice. Okay, so some side notes. So keep in mind that this is a $30 meal challenge video. However, some people do have to live on $30. And I know I've read comments before where people are like, well, if you have to live on $30, why don't you go to a food pantry, or why don't you go to a food bank? Keep in mind that sometimes people do go to these places, and for whatever reason, they may not be able to get the food for that day. Maybe they only have $20, maybe they only have $30. And I want people to understand that just because you have a limited amount of funds does not mean that you can't eat or deprive your kids. You have to make it interesting, you have to make it fun. So I want to remind you guys that I have a Caribbean background, but at the same time I love foods from everywhere. So of course you will see that the recipes, I just kind of threw things together. And I feel like You can take the most basic food items, add some good seasonings to it, and make it interesting. Yes, if you have extra veggies, that would be a plus too. But in this video, because we're working on such an extreme budget and you're trying to feed so many people, it's important that you get the staple items and that their bellies are full. Also, I wanted to note that for this challenge, because it's my challenge, it's not my family's challenge, even though they of course had to eat the dinners, breakfasts, and lunches, as far as snacks, I didn't make them not have their snacks. I wouldn't change their daily routine based on the fact that I wanted to do a video or I wanted to do a challenge. So they were still doing whatever snacks they were doing, but these were their basic lunches, breakfasts, and dinners. Also, keep in mind that if you're on a limited budget, that there's food banks like we discussed, but there's also drive-up school lunch places that offer snacks and items for your kids. So the main meals that really I think that most families are concerned with are dinners. Now, if you're homeschooling, of course you're concerned with breakfast and lunch, but for the most part, dinner and lunches are two big items. And depending on what time your child comes home, snack might very well be the equivalent of a lunch. So we're going to keep that in mind. So we're going to be really realistic about what it is that we're going to make out of these items. Keep in mind, I did not plan any recipes prior to buying these items. All I did was try to determine what it is that was the cheapest, what I could do with certain things, and then I planned my meal plan afterwards. And then I adjusted as the week went by. So it'll be interesting to see what I did in order to prep for the beginning of this week. So what I did to try to make our meals a little bit easier as far as cooking them from a day-to-day basis, because I do work full-time. Apparently I'm a homeschool teacher full-time. So time is of the essence. So one of the things that I did is when I got all the foods together, I separated out all the eggs because I do have egg containers that hold about a dozen eggs. I went ahead and soaked and boiled my beans, got that out the way. I went ahead and cleaned and sectioned out my chicken, got that out the way. Cut up my sausage, got that out the way. Some days I prep more rice so that I would have it going forward. It's always good to have extra rice because you don't know what you may be able to do with that rice. So keep that in mind when you're watching those videos. Also, with these meals, if you have something that maybe I don't have, for example, in one of the meals I found veggies in my freezer and I was able to use that. So keep in mind that you could possibly do that. Do you have to have it? No. Is it a plus? Yes. Use everything that you have in your pantry to supplement these meals. Okay, so some things that I would have done differently. Okay, so while I was going through this challenge, it was pretty interesting because, like I said, I'm on day 6, and as I'm going through this, I realized that there were some things that I could have possibly done without. If I was on a serious budget, seriously, some of the things that I probably would not have done was buy a gallon of milk, because we realized that we did not need as much milk as we purchased. And a lot of things that you can do with milk, you can actually do with water. So it was a convenience. However, my kids, of course, drink the milk because it's milk. Another thing I probably would not have purchased is a can of cream chicken. Even though it's 50 cents, you have to keep in mind that I bought flour. I have chicken stock. I could have easily made a cream of chicken, so that was a waste. Where I would have purchased certain things, I think I would have purchased more vegetables had I reduced the amount of milk that I purchased and replaced the chicken stock with maybe a can of vegetables. I probably would have bought way less onions. I don't know why I bought such a big thing of onions. I think because I'm used to just buying a big thing of onions, but when you're on a limited budget, you're not necessarily trying to stock up, so I could have done without a large bag of onions. I also would have batch seasoned my meats, and because we're cooking chicken, you can do a basic seasoning on the chicken and just put it in the refrigerator or the freezer. I wish I would have done that thinking ahead, but I did not do that because I was trying to figure out, okay, what is it that I can make as I go along? Okay guys, so what you guys all came in for, the meal plan. So I'm gonna put the meal plan in the description below, but like I said, I'm gonna do a separate video for each day of meals, and those videos will include the new meals that I make for each day. For example, certain days we had pancakes, and then we had pancakes maybe the next day, so of course I wouldn't show you pancakes twice. So keep that in mind. So I have my notes and my meal plan here. For day 1, breakfast was biscuit and eggs. Lunch was chicken salad, egg salad, and wraps. Dinner was Creole style sausage with chicken and rice. Day 2 was cornmeal porridge. So good. I love this stuff. I grew up on it. So if you're interested, you gotta check out that video. Lunch was potato hash and eggs. Dinner was the most delicious baked chicken and rice. Day 3, breakfast was pancake and eggs. Lunch was fried rice. Dinner was red beans and rice with sausage. So good. Day 4, breakfast was the cornmeal porridge. It was so good. I couldn't wait to have it again, so I put it in rotation really quickly. Lunch was chicken, rice, and potato soup. Dinner was stewed chicken with seasoned red beans and rice. Listen, just know. You got to check that one out. Day 5, breakfast was biscuit and eggs. Lunch was bean and rice burritos. Dinner was fried chicken and potato salad. Day 6, breakfast was pancake and eggs. Lunch was potato and dumpling soup. And dinner was chicken pot pie. Day 7, pancake and eggs. Lunch is fritters with onion rings, and dinner is going to be fried rice with sausage. So keep in mind, as I went through these meals, I did find that I could have done things a little bit differently, and there's different things that I probably would have added. Like if your family eats biscuits and gravy, you could have easily made the gravy. My kids don't like the gravy, so it made no sense to make that. So at the end of the challenge, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know exactly what we're gonna have left over. And keep in mind, I'm in day 6, so day 7 may change a little bit, but that's what we have planned. And then what happens is sometimes you find that your kids don't necessarily eat all the food, or maybe you still have more of an item than you thought you would have. Things may change, but the whole point is I want to show that you can eat really good food, delicious food on an extreme budget. What I will say though is you need to up your game in your seasoning. Seasonings make a world of difference. If you have great seasonings, then you're good to go. With seasonings, you can turn a pasta into whatever, but it's important that you stock your shelves with certain seasonings and just be creative. I think that's one of the things that the challenge reveals, is that you should be creative with food. You have to think outside the box. What is it that your parents used to do? What is it that you saw somebody else do? What is it that you would like to try? So you get creative and you make meals based on what your family would eat, based on what you have, and just, make it interesting. And also you want to be creative. Food is an adventure, right? So you're supposed to have a good time when you're making these meals. Even if you're on an extreme budget, you still want your family to have fun at meals. Meals are an emotional thing. So we learn to stretch foods in these videos. We're gonna learn how to be creative and make foods that your family will enjoy. So I hope that you guys enjoy this video. And of course, before you guys leave, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, and of course share. So let's get into it. The one thing that I really want to push you guys to do is to be creative with your foods. It doesn't matter what you have. You can make the best of anything. Anything can be put together to create a meal that you would not have even thought was going to be as amazing as it was. And through this week, it just reminded me of that, because it made me think outside the box. It made me put things together I wouldn't necessarily put together. And of course, it made me pull out my baking equipment. It was interesting and it's fun, and that's what it should be about. Just get creative. Don't be stressed about food. One of the things that I do want you guys to realize is that, everybody's going through a little something right now, and it doesn't matter what the situation is. Food should not be the insecurity. And if it is, of course, there's food banks, there's food pantries, there's school food programs, there's all type of programs that will help you in your time of need. So make sure you're utilizing those. I think in one of my videos I mentioned 211, and it's a phone number that you can call, and they have tons of resources. So if you're ever wondering or worrying about anything, be sure to reach out to 211. So let's get into it. So again, guys, I hope that you will join us for this journey, this 7-day journey of meals. Okay, so thank you guys again so much for coming back to my channel and being a part of this food journey. Keep in mind that on my channel, I will be sharing all types of budget-friendly foods. I want you to enjoy food. I want you to be creative, and it's cool to make all types of fancy recipes when you're able to. But it's also cool to be creative and make really quick budget-friendly foods. You'll find that those foods are sometimes the best foods, and those are the meals that your family will remember and enjoy the most. So again, thank you guys for coming to my channel, and I hope that you will like, comment, share, and of course subscribe so that you don't miss a thing. So until my next video, bye.